head down and you can see JC's, which is this amazing slam poetry, and then Brian's, which is this amazing creepy thing, and then is it Olga's, and then Kristen's, and they're all going to be amazing. Go down, they're all in the auditorium after this, so you don't have to move anymore, and yeah, I hope you enjoy the Lorax.
Thank you, Jake.
At the find of town, where the grickle grass grows, and the wind smells slow and sour when it blows, and no birds ever sing, excepting old crows, is the street of the lifted Lorax.
And deep in the grickle grass, some people say, if you look deep enough, you can still see today where the Lorax once stood, just as long as it could, before somebody lifted the Lorax away. What was the Lorax? And why was it there? And why was it taken and lifted somewhere from the far end of town where the grickle grass grows? The old Amsler still lives there. Ask him. He knows.
You won't see the onsler. Don't knock at his door. He stays in his lurkum on top of his store. He stays in his lurkum cold under the raw, where he makes his own clothes out of muffed moof. And on special, damp midnights in August, he peeks out of the shutters, and sometimes he speaks and tells how the Lorax is lifted away. He'll tell you perhaps, if you're willing to pay. On the end of a rope, he lets down a tin pail, and you have to toss in 15 cents and a nail in the shell of a great-great-great-grandfather snail.
Then he pulls up the pail, makes a most careful count to see if you pay him the proper amount.
Then he tucks what you've paid him away in his snub, his secret strange hole in his grovulous glove. Then he grunts, I will call you by whisper phone, for the secrets I tell you are for your ears alone.
Slop! Down slops the whisper-phone to your ear, and the old Onsler's whispers are not very clear, since they have to come down through a snurgly hose, and he sounds as if he had smallish bees up his nose.
Now I'll tell you, he said, with his teeth sounding grey, how the Lorax was taken and lifted away. It all started way back, such a long, long time back, way back in the days when the grass was still green, and the pond was still wet, and the clouds were still clean, and the song of the swami swans went on out in space. One morning I came to this glorious place, and I first saw the trees, the truffula trees, the bright-colored tufts of the truffula trees, mile after mile in the fresh morning breeze. And under the trees, I saw brown barbaloots frisking about in their barbaloot suits as they played in the shade and ate truffula fruits. From the rupulous pond came the comfortable sound of the humming fish humming while splashing around. But those trees, those truffula trees, I've never seen trees such as these. The touch of their tufts was much softer than silk, and they had the sweet smell of fresh butterfly milk. I felt a great leaping of joy in my heart. I knew just what to do. I unloaded my cart, and in no time at all, I had built a small shop. Then I chopped down a truffula tree with one chop. And with great skillful skill and with great speedy speed, I took the soft tuft, and I knitted a thneed. The instant I finished, I heard a gazump. I looked. I saw something pop out of the stump of the tree I chopped down. It was sort of a man. Describe him? That's hard. I don't know if I can. He was shortish and oldish and brownish and mossy, and he spoke with a voice that was sharpish and bossy.
Mister,
he said with a sawdusty sneeze,
I am the Lorax. I speak for the trees. I speak for the trees, for the trees have no tongues, and I'm asking you, sir, at the top of my lungs.
He was very upset as he shouted and puffed.
What's the thing you've made out of my truffula tuft?
Look, Lorax, I said. There's no cause for alarm. I've chopped just one tree. I'm doing no harm. I'm being quite useful. This thing is a thneed. A thneed to find something that all people need. It's a shirt, it's a sock, it's a glove, it's a hat. But it has other uses. Yes, far beyond that. You can use it for curtains, for carpets, for sheets, or pillows, or covers for bicycle seats. The Lorax said,
Sir, you are crazy with greed. There's no one on earth who would buy that fool need.
But the very next minute, I proved he was wrong. But just at that moment, a chap came along, and he thought that the need I knitted was great, and he happily bought it for $3.98. I laughed at the Lorax. You poor stupid guy. You never can tell what some people will buy.
I repeat,
Cried the Lorax.
I speak for the trees.
I'm busy, I told them. Shut up if you please. I rushed across the room and in no time at all built a radio phone. I put in a quick call. I called on my brothers and uncles and aunts. I said, listen here, here's a wonderful chance for the whole Armstrong family to get mighty rich. Get over here fast. Take the road to North Nitch. Turn left at Weehawken, sharp right at South Stitch. And in no time at all, in the factory I'd built, the whole Armstrong family was working full tilt. We were all knitting thneeds, just as busy as bees, to the sound of the chopping of truffula trees. Then, oh, how my business did grow! Now chopping one tree at a time was too slow. So I quickly invented my super axe hacker, which whacked down 4 truffula trees at one smacker. We were making thneeds 4 times as fast as before, and that Lorax, he didn't show up anymore. But the next week he knocked on my new office door. He snapped.
I am the Lorax who speak for the trees, which you seem to be chopping as fast as you please. But I'm also in charge of the brown barbaloots, who play in the shade in their barbaloot suits, and happily live eating truffula fruits. Now, thanks to your hacking my trees to the ground, there's not enough truffula fruit to go round. And my poor barbaloots are all getting the crummies because they have gas and no food in their tummies. They love living here, but I can't let them stay. They'll have to find food, and I hope that they may. Good luck, boys!
He cried, and he sent them away. I, the Onsla, felt sad as I watched them all go. But business is business, and business must grow, regardless of crummies and tummies, you know. I meant no harm. I most truly did not. But I had to grow bigger, so bigger I got. I biggered my factory, I biggered my roads, I biggered my wagons, I biggered the loads of thneeds I shipped out. I was shipping them forth to the north, to the east, to the west, to the south. I went right on biggering, making more thneeds, and I biggered my money, which everyone needs. Then again he came back. I was fixing some pipes when that old nuisance Lorax came back with more gripes.
I am the Lorax!
He coughed and he whiffed. He sneezed and he sniffled. He snarled, he sniffed.
Answer!
He cried with a crofulous croak.
Answer! You making such smugglers smoke! My poor swoomy swans, why they can't sing a note? No one can sing who has smuck in his throat. And so,
Said the Lorax.
please pardon my cough. They cannot live here, so I'm sending them off. Where will they go? I don't hopefully know. They may have to fly for a month or a year to escape from the smug you've smucked up around here. What's more,
Snapped the Lorax, his dander was up.
let me say a few words about Glubbity-Glub. Your machinery chalks on day and night without stop, making Glubbity-Glub and also Slubbity-Slub. And what do you do with all this leftover goo? I'll show you, you dirty old Unstler man, you! You're glumping the pond where the humming fish hummed. No more can they hum, for their gills are all gummed. And so I'm sending them off. Oh, their future is dreary. They'll walk on their fins and get woefully weary, in search of some water that isn't so smerry.
Then I got mad. I got terribly mad. I yelled at the Lorax, now listen here, Dad! All you do is yap, yap, and say bad, bad, I do. And for your information, you Lorax, I'm figuring on biggering and biggering and biggering and biggering, turning more truffula trees into thneeds, which everyone needs! And at that very moment, we heard a loud whack. From outside in the fields came the sickening smack of an axe on a tree. And we heard the tree fall, the very last truffula tree of them all. No more trees, no more thneeds, no more work to be done. So in no time, my aunts, uncles, everyone, all waved me goodbye. They packed into my cars and drove away under the smoke-smuggled stars. And all that was left beneath the bad-smelling sky was my big empty factory, the Lorax, and I. The Lorax said nothing, just gave me this glance, just gave me this very sad backward glance as he lifted himself by the seat of his pants. And I'll never forget the grim look on his face when he hoisted himself and took leave of this place, through a hole in the smog without leaving a trace. And all that the Lorax left here in this mess was a small piece of bark with one word, unless. Whatever that meant, well, I just couldn't guess. But through the years, while my buildings have fallen apart, I've sat here and worried about it with all of my heart. But now, says the answer, now that you're here, the word of the Lorax seems perfectly clear, unless someone like it's not.
So, catch! Calls to Onsler. He lets something fall.
It's a truffula seed.
It's the last one of all.
You're in charge of the last of the truffula seeds.
And truffula trees are what everyone needs.
Plant a new truffula. Treat it with care.
Give it clean water and feed it fresh air.
Grow a forest. Protect it from axes that hack.
Then the Lorax
And all of his friends
may come back.
I hope you enjoyed it. You can stay here for the next 10-ish minutes and enjoy the plants. And then everyone head down to the auditorium because there are 4 more amazing plays to be done and you will seriously miss out if you don't go somewhere.